Hey everyone, my name is Jeri Cinnamon. I am the Quality Supervisor for Technical Support at Vertex Inc. What I love most about my role is the opportunity that I get to drive positive impact every day. In the IT technical support world, or the customer support world, we're used to monitoring specific metrics, right? Production, TTR, CSAT, etc. But the best way that I've found to drive each of these individual, super important metrics is through kind of the single holistic lens that is quality, because all of these things really connect to how quality is executed in a support organization. So it's really incredible to be able to see the impact that myself and my team can make on all of these things. And it's iterative, right? Which is really comforting, I think. So quality can take bad to good, but it can also take good to better and better to best. And I feel like that constant refinement allows me to keep thinking about things strategically and also creatively. And I think being able to exercise creativity, especially in the IT support world, is really a rare treat that I really value. Something I really like about quality is that kind of iterative approach to betterment. In quality, the question is almost never what else. What else can we do to be successful? The question is almost always, what's next? What do we do now that we've accomplished, XYZ? What is the next step in this? How can we make things just a little bit better every time? And I really enjoy that challenge, and I really enjoy kind of the comfort of knowing that the job is never done. One thing I'm really passionate about with quality is the way the quality element of IT technical support, customer support, kind of bridges the human experience with the more technical side of support. So it's really easy to think about the work that we do as purely analytical, right? But well-executed quality programs merge data with empathy. So I like to think of it sort of as a perfect blend of STEM and the humanities. It helps us to evolve as a support organization. The question becomes, how do we evolve from being more than just a break-fix team? How do we build relationships that turn us into solution allies? And that's a great challenge. I'm really grateful to work for an organization like Vertex that really truly values quality, not just as a checkbox, but as a genuine strategic advantage in the industry. Here, I've been empowered to design fully customized, tailored programs that meet the unique needs of our teams and our customers. And we're not limited to out-of-the-box solutions, which, really often fall short. And that freedom has really allowed myself and my team to innovate, iterate, and build something meaningful for our analysts and our customers. My approach to innovation and continuous improvement starts with imagining the ideal experience and then sort of working backwards from there. So rather than asking, what can we do with the tools that we have? I ask, what would the perfect experience look like for our analysts, for our supervisors, for our customers? And then I build towards that vision, shaping the tools and systems behind me to support it. And that's not always perfect. Compromises are made, but generally by starting at the end and working our way backwards, we're more mindful of that ultimate vision, and our end result ends up a lot closer to that ideal than if we had started at the beginning and worked towards the end. So a good example of this is the launch of Quality 2.0, which is our fully custom quality program we launched earlier this year. So when I was tasked with reimagining our approach to quality, I started from a place of empathy. I asked, as a supervisor coaching towards quality, what do I need to do to ensure that my feedback is impactful, but also that my time is still being protected? And that led to the creation of Quality 2.0. And I have the dashboard up here to kind of explain it. But the idea behind it is, as a supervisor preparing for a one-on-one conversation with an analyst, where we do need to cover quality coaching, you should be able to look at this dashboard and in 5 seconds, understand where your analyst is struggling so that you can give direct and actionable coaching. So in this case, we have a total evaluation score, or an average for the month here of 95, which is generally really good. But we also have individual competency scores that show us specifically where an analyst may be struggling, whether it's issue diagnosis and resolution, internal processes, or communication and soft skills. So in this case, I can see the total evaluation score is 95, but this analyst could stand to better improve their issue diagnosis and resolution skills. And then 2.0 takes that a step further. In addition to those competency-based metrics, It also gives us root cause deduction reasons. So as a supervisor, generally, I see how you're doing. Specifically, I see where you need to focus your attention. Even more specifically, I know that this analyst is having trouble acknowledging case ownership and leaving robust internal notes. So I have actionable and clear coaching points for them within 5 seconds. I know exactly where my analyst is. A lot of things have also added to these metrics, but since we've launched Quality 2.0 and we've been able to have more direct coaching and clearer and actionable data, our CSAT is up just under 5%. And I'm really proud to work in an environment that supports this kind of thoughtful, human-centered design that encourages us to build solutions that are strategic and helpful, but also really centered on the experience of our supervisors and our employees, and by extension, our customers. Leadership to me is about service. Yes, I work for an organization with its own priorities, but in practice and in actuality, I work for my team and by extension, the broader support organization. So I know that if I serve my team well, they'll serve the organization well. If the organization is served well, it'll serve my team well. So I try to remember as a leader that my role here is as a facilitator of that kind of symbiotic process. One of the most important leadership lessons I've learned kind of thus far is this. If you tell somebody who they are, they will believe you. So what I mean by that is if you signal to somebody that they need to be micromanaged, it'll be a self-fulfilling prophecy. They will need micromanaged. On the flip side, if you signal to somebody or tell somebody that they're the best person for a project, or they're really great at this one specific thing, they'll often rise to meet that expectation. And that kind of trust can also sort of shape this sense of professional identity and performance. So if you tell an analyst that they are really good at leaving just stellar internal notes, likely they'll internalize that as part of their identity. And then they're more likely to go out into a live environment and share what they know, lead by example, and coach their peers. So signaling that trust and kind of letting somebody else drive is really important. But that also means that as a leader, it's my responsibility to demonstrate the qualities I want to see, right? To define what success looks like, to demonstrate accountability and ownership. And that's why I make it a point to be in the work with my team at all times, right? I don't just assign evaluations, I do them. I don't just lead calibration sessions, I participate. I make myself as vulnerable in those sessions as the rest of my team. I don't just tell them how important it is to adopt knowledge-centered service, I serve on the KCS Council. These aren't just tasks, they're signals. They show what accountability looks like, and I hope they demonstrate that I'll never ask my team to do anything that I wouldn't do myself. I also believe that leadership means creating a space for others to lead. When somebody else's name is on a project, it means more to them. Their buy-in increases, and so does their sense of ownership. And I think that collective ownership kind of strengthens the whole team, and it builds this culture where leadership is shared and not centralized. And I think that that's really powerful. So ultimately, I see leadership as this kind of art of making yourself obsolete. And though that may seem counterintuitive to individual goals. Providing that clarity and empowering your team and putting them in a position where they can drive that mission with or without you is actually really rewarding. Seeing that growth in my teams and other teams that I work closely with really motivates me every single day. I believe the most important quality in IT service and support is empathy, genuine human connection. And I know this sounds like a softball, but I mean it with all my heart. I think often in IT support, we really focus on problems, but we forget that we don't just deal with problems. We deal with people who are experiencing problems. So especially in like high-profile B2B relationships like Vertex often deals with, the relationship with this customer, with this partner, often matters more than whether or not we fix the issue on the first touch, though that certainly helps. So we tend to measure our success in terms of tickets closed or cases closed. But as much as I can, I try to reframe that. So instead of how many cases did we close today, it's how many people did we help today? Instead of referring to the customer as, customer, referring to them as their first name really helps to kind of humanize that connection. And I think that can really shift in mindset and influence how we show up, how we communicate, how we build trust on an individual level. So one phrase that I use a lot is, remember your human hat. Even when we don't have the answer right away, the customer needs to feel confident in our ability, our reliability, and our follow through. So that trust is built through empathy. And it's not just nice to have or like a neat soft skill to focus on. Empathy, especially in IT support, is strategically powerful. So customers who trust us are more likely to share the context and the details that we need to solve their issue most effectively. They're more likely to see us as allies and work with us to resolve an issue. It reduces this friction at multiple contact points and increases, or even sometimes redefines, what a successful contact looks like. So empathy is foundational, and it connects to other key qualities that we want to see in support. Accountability, the curiosity to ask better diagnostic questions, the ability to have clear communication that translates these technically complex concepts for human understanding, right? All of these things that we also value are deeply rooted first in a foundation of empathy and understanding the perspective of your customer. So I think together these qualities help us move beyond just break fix IT support and evolves us into having a real partnership with our customers and our partners, where we're seen not just as tech support, right, but as actual solution allies that they can trust every time they reach out to us. And the key to that has just always been, for me, for my team, for teams that I've worked with, genuine, real empathy. If I could give just one piece of advice to somebody starting a career in IT service and support, it would be this. Don't put pressure on yourself to get it right the first time, every time. So I feel like a lot of folks who are drawn to this industry are super intelligent people. They are natural problem solvers. They're smart, they're capable, they're curious. But early in their careers, I sometimes worry that drive and that personality type can sometimes turn into pressure to have all the answers immediately. And I worry that can be really overwhelming, especially early on. And they're right. It is great to know things. It is great to have the right answer on the first contact every time, of course. But it's even more powerful to know how to learn things we don't already know. So something to bear in mind is that the world of technology changes really quickly, right? The world of IT changes really quickly. Tools evolve, systems shift, knowledge loses relevance over time. What's going to last, what's going to really impact the longevity of a career is our ability to navigate discomfort, to troubleshoot methodically, to find answers when we don't have them yet. So instead of focusing on memorizing everything, my advice is to focus on building your learning muscles. Get comfortable with not knowing things, because that's where the growth happens. Learn how to research, how to ask good, curious questions that get deep to the root of the issue, and learn how to not just use your resources widely, but how to improve the resources that you have at your disposal over time. And I think that skill set will serve anybody in this industry far longer than any one piece of technical knowledge. So kind of in summary, you don't have to be perfect. You don't have to be perfect to be valuable, but we need to be curious and adaptable, and we need to know how to solve problems, not just know the solution to the problems.